Hey guys, it's JStarWars360 here with another Clone Wars vlog for you guys. But before I get into it, first off, sorry I adjusted, so if I'm pausing randomly and stuff, that's why I'm a little out of breath. But, kind of on a tight schedule here, so I'm trying to record videos when I can. So I'm here with another Clone Wars vlog, but before I get into it, I just quickly want to give you guys an update on what's coming up. First off, Powerpuff Girls vlogs. I've said this before, I'll just say it again for those of you who are curious. One a week I'm going to shoot for just because I'm really busy and I have a life and I don't have that much time on my hand. So yeah. I'm going to try and get one done tonight, but don't hold me to that. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy teaser coming out, premiering on Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to try and review that. I don't have a TV near me, or there is one, but I'm in college, in case you guys don't know, and we have a dorm, but it's with a TV, and in our dorm there's a TV, but it's public, so I might not be able to get access to it, but when it hits YouTube, I'll be sure to review it. I mean, unless I can find Jimmy Fallon playing live somewhere. So, Guardians of the Galaxy teaser either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah. So anyway, so let's get to the review now. Season 4 of the Clone Wars. So, this season was good. Was consistently good. I mean, there was nothing in this season that blew me away, like the Savage Opress arc or the Mortis arc from season 3. But it was consistently good. Like, there was always most of the episodes in the season I enjoyed. So again, same as with Joel's before, I'm just going to go for the arcs really quickly, summing up what I thought of them. And if you're curious as to if you want me to go more in depth as to what I thought about something about an arc, just comment below what you think of it, and I'll be happy to reply with what I thought. Or do a separate video, one or the other. But yeah, so here we go, the arcs. First one is Mon Calamari. This is the Clone Wars version of the Mon Calamari battle, the underwater battle that we saw that was done in the 2D anime one. And it was a pretty nice way to open it. There was a lot of fun action with them working underwater. I mean, it looked really nice. I mean, especially considering how hard water is to work with in animation. I think they did a good job. I really loved the villain and his shark head. It was one of the better. I'm usually not that big a fan of just arcs where it's just the Clone Republic versus the Separatists, but this one was good. If I were to criticize it, though, is that... Oh, yeah, Admiral Akbar's in it, which was awesome. And if I were to criticize this arc, there are a couple things that got on me. Number one is Jar Jar Binks. He's in this episode, and he's really annoying. And you just want him to shut up. And the Prince character, I didn't find that interesting. Next up is Shadow Warrior. This is basically, I forget the gist of it. There's like a Gungan that dies. I don't know. Basically, there's a Gungan that dies and Jar Jar has to stand in. And the Gungan leader is meeting with the Separatist leader, who is General Grievous, and it turns into a capture General Grievous. It was a good episode. It was a bit amusing seeing Jar Jar dress up as the Gungan guy. And, I like them capturing Grievous, but there was a lot of things that hurt this episode. One, the Gungans' voices are all obnoxious. Number two is the fact that they could have done an entire episode of the Separatists trying to get Grievous back, but they just rush into like 5 minutes. And basically they capture Anakin. It's like, we'll give Anakin back in exchange for Grievous. And Padme listens to Jar Jar and returns Grievous for Anakin, without any hesitation or think about it. The guy who is the key, who they say in Revenge of the Sith, is the key to ending the war. I mean, I know Dooku's out there, but still. Grievous is like one of the most powerful characters in the Clone Wars. You have him, and you're just so willing to give him up. Yeah. Like, seriously, I mean, you're even going to think about this? Padme won't even discuss it with the Council? It just pisses me off, and just think about the fact that is it really worth saving one Jedi just to give the Separatists their most powerful ally, who hunts Jedi for a living, down? But enough about that. I could go on for hours about that. Next arc are 2 independent episodes that both focus on R2 and 3PO. They're just straight up filler, nothing that relevant. But they're fun episodes. I generally like the second one a lot more than the first one. It's fun just seeing them go around all these locations. I love the opening and just seeing this big battle, but we're getting it from R2 and 3PO's perspective. I do think they should have spaced these episodes out, like so that way you'd have a bit more variety, but it worked. Alright, next one is a really strong arc. It is the Umbara arc. This is the one where the clones are trying to take over a separatist controlled planet, but Anakin has to go back to Coruscant because Palpatine wants him. They replace him with this really ruthless general who is not for creativity or strategy, just screws the plan Anakin had and just says, we're going to push forward. He doesn't care how many lives get lost. It gets better and better as it goes on. And I love the idea, of the clones questioning orders, division. What do we do? Do we follow this guy's orders even though we know they're clearly wrong, or do we just follow orders? I like how the clones rebel. It was just a really good arc. Although I am curious, though, what about Order 66? I mean, and I think one of the members of Domino Squad dies in this arc as well. But yeah, it does raise into question, what about Order 66, the clones? No problem questioning orders here, but when it comes to Order 66, why did they do what they do? And I'm especially curious as to what Rex does. Like, again, really strong clone arc. I can't wait to see the Order 66 arc and the bonus content when it comes out. I'm really curious to see how they address that, especially in regards to Captain Rex, since he's such a well-developed character. I'm curious to see how he ties into Order 66. They'll probably kill him off, or either him or Fives, because I know Fives is in the last member of Domino Squad is in that arc, and they're probably going to kill off everyone in Domino Squad. Kind of like the Carmine Rovers in Gears of War. Alright, next one is a slavery trilogy. If I remember, I think this is the one where there's these again, I haven't seen these episodes in a while, so forgive me if I'm a little, don't exactly remember the specifics, but there's this planet. I remember the trade separatists show up and kidnap the people on the planet and sell them to these slavers, and the Jedi have to go rescue them. It was a fun, interesting story, especially the second and third ones. I really love the Queen character who runs the planet where the slaves are. I like one thing Clone Wars loves to do is just reference the original films, like a quote or reenact a scene. There's a really nice nod to Return of the Jedi in this arc, and I really liked it. Like, they didn't just reference it for the sake of referencing it. They actually did something kind of cool with it. Also, kind of a risky bit in this episode. We have a slave at one point who commits suicide, and Anakin wants to stop her, but he doesn't want to give away that he's a Jedi because he's like the Queen's right-hand man, and he doesn't want to give himself away, so he can't. So again, it was a fun episode. Ahsoka gets a bit of character development. I'm just reading off my notes. I wish I had been more specific, but then again, this is back when I first started taking notes. I've gotten a bit better than that, so... But yeah, it was a fun arc, nice little bit. Then we have A Friend in Need. This is the one where that guy whose name I can't remember at the moment, Locks or whatever his name is, Ahsoka's kind of love interest, first up, who runs off to talk to the Mandalorians to let him know he's found Count Dooku's location, but it turns out he's got bit off a bit more than he can chew, and they have to fight the Mandalorians and escape. This was an awesome episode. I like Ahsoka and whatever his name is, kiss, and I like how it's just, an act, like it's not a passionate kiss at all. It would have been a bit out of character for Ahsoka to kiss or to just straight up say, fuck it, I'm in love. Love the Mandalorians this episode. They're brutal, they're awesome. There's some great action of Ahsoka just kicking ass and developing, proving that she can handle herself. I love the conclusion to this episode where Ahsoka and What's-His-Face say goodbye, at least until the next arc. Great episode. Proves Ahsoka can handle herself. I might have said that. I was worried when this is the only bit of Mandalore I think we get to see in this episode, in this season. And I was worried that we were going to have another boring political arc on Mandalore, but we barely spent any time there, and we get into this really awesome arc that again shows us a bit more of Death Watch. We get to see the leader. We get the tease of the female version of Death Watch, who I don't know if it's revealed what's under her helmet, but season 5, I know for a fact we get to see her, and yeah, awesome episode that sets up something else that's awesome in season 5 for the Mandalorians. For Ahsoka's boyfriend, not so much. Although I'm curious to see if we're going to see him again in the bonus content, or if we're going to do more stuff with him. Because spoilers if you haven't seen the Clone Wars, but Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Honor, and I don't think we're going to see her again. So I'm curious if there's more they want to do with that boy, or if they were going to do more, but then they decided, in case the series wrap gets canceled, let's bring closure to Ahsoka. I'm curious. Next arc is pretty fun. It's a fun, really good, if you are a fan of villains, this is a great one. There's a plot twist to kidnap Chancellor Palpatine, and to find out what the plan is, they have this guy's Obi-Wan, they fake Obi-Wan, they hire a bounty hunter to fake Obi-Wan's death, then they kidnap the bounty hunter and have Obi-Wan disguised as him. So that way, the villain, other bounty hunters will be reluctant to trust fake bounty hunter disguised as Obi-Wan. And so the episode is basically Obi-Wan hanging out with the villains, and it's a fun episode. Again, great to see an episode focusing on a day in the life of the villains. Cool, again, just awesome villain bits. And what's even more incredible is James Arnold Taylor, who's a great voice actor, by the way. Nice job as Obi-Wan. He's doing the voice of the villain that Obi-Wan's disguised of, and he does a really nice job. Again, I would love to go more into depth on this, but I just don't have time. I will say this, I do feel like it's weird that it becomes a bit more about Anakin in the end than Obi-Wan, but again, I'm willing to let that slide. And I do like how they do sort of explain why Palpatine was kidnapped in Revenge of the Sith, which is that it was really, the Trade Federation was kidnapped, the Separatists were kidnapping him to hold him for ransom, but really this was just Palpatine's way of just sort of bringing out the dark side in Anakin. And then the final arc focuses on the return of Darth Maul. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be. I was so pumped for it, but it was still pretty entertaining, and I loved watching it. First episode of this was insane. I mean, I was a little curious as to, wait, what does this have to do with Darth Maul? But it was awesome. I love how dark it was. I love how it focused on Asajj, who really became a really interesting character as the show progressed, and hopefully she shows up again in the bonus content. Or I feel like maybe they were going to do her in the bonus content, but I see in future lines, but unfortunately they got canceled. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, so fun, awesome action. Feel bad for her because she just wants to live a normal life, but Duke is like, nope, we're going to wipe out all the Night Sisters. Really dark. And I really feel bad for the Night Sisters. I mean, they just showed genocide in Clone Wars. Really dark, really cool. Next episode is Bounty Hunter episodes again. Nice character development of Asajj, learning who she is. There's a twist in this episode, which I'm really liking. Lots of fun action. It's on a train. It mostly takes place on a train, and it leads to some really good action. And again, yeah. As I said before, nice character development of Asajj here. Cool seeing Boba Fett grow and develop. I heard they were going to do more with him beyond the current 5 seasons, but unfortunately, due to Clone Wars getting canceled, we never got to see that. And the final 2 arcs are straight up Darth Maul. First one is pretty cool. First off, they have the Star Wars logo in red to signify this is a big episode. I love the build-up to Maul. I love the guy who voices Maul, and this is Sam Witwer, who voices Starkiller in The Force Unleashed. He's phenomenal as Maul, like, really great. Because Maul is, like, crazy, and I love the idea. I mean, Maul's dead, but, I mean, he stayed alive through his feelings of anger and hatred towards Obi-Wan, but it came at a cost. Like, it's not like he's alive. No, he is, like, fucked up mentally, and I love that. Especially love Sam Witwer, the voice actor, of his own free will, deciding to have Maul recite the Jedi code, the Sith code, which we heard in KOTOR. Again, They never really explain how he survived, but I'm gonna understand. And then the final episode is awesome. Maul comes back. Again, they kind of rush his explanation, but it's still there. Really like what Whitner Sam does with the character. I mean, this is a character, he barely got any lines in Phantom Menace. I always felt like Maul, he looked cool, he was awesome, but we really never got to know Maul. He just seemed like there to be an awesome villain, cool-looking villain. So we didn't really hear him talk much. Whitner brings a lot to the role, mainly in Season 5, but it's still kind of cool. I love how he actually has a motive, and there's actually a relationship between Maul and Obi-Wan, whereas in the first one it wasn't. It was just good guy versus bad guy. And I like seeing Asajj and Obi-Wan team up. Asajj teaming up, it was fun. It was awesome. Again, it was kind of reminded me of The Last Airbender whenever Aang and Zuko would team up. It would be like, awesome! I'm a little annoyed because it's like one of those, why didn't you kill him when you had the chance moments? But that's honestly a nitpick. I mean, Maul obviously wants Obi-Wan to suffer for everything. But yeah, it was overall a pretty good season. The highlights of it were Pain of Descent, which is from, Pain of Descent, I can't find that one here. A Friend in Need, which is where Ahsoka and her love interests get together. Deception / The Boxes are 2 episodes from Obi-Wan's Disguise arc, and Massacre, which was the highlight of the Return of Maul arc. Awesome story arcs are Umbara, Obi-Wan going undercover, Darth Maul Returns, and the Slavery arc. The worst story arc, the one that you can honestly sit out, is the Mon Calamari arc, and the dud of this season was the Jar Jar episode. Was there really any surprise? And yeah, that's my thoughts on Season 4 of The Clone Wars. Sorry this video went long, but again, I have a lot to say. Please join me next time when I talk about the final season of The Clone Wars, which contains 2 of my favorite arcs in the entire, 2 of, if not my favorite arcs of the entire series. See you then.